Today is March 15, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, just two things today. First, from the state of Florida, U.S. District Judge Robert Hinkle just reinstated a 2016 Florida law that had blocked state funds from going to Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers. Planned Parenthood has said that if this law were to take effect, it would lose, Planned Parenthood would lose $500,000 a year. Well, that's a lot of money, at least for me, $500,000. This case has been tied up in court for 7 years. Now, finally, justice has arrived for the Floridians, the taxpayers of Florida. They will no longer have to subsidize Planned Parenthood's abortion industry. Now, the state attorney general, he's a pro-life Republican, said, quote, "The Dobbs ruling makes clear that there is no constitutional right to abortion and that Supreme Court cases holding otherwise were egregiously wrong from the start. The state may thus constitutionally prohibit abortion within its borders," unquote. And needless to say, Governor Ron DeSantis is fully supportive of the judge's ruling and prohibiting funds from going to abortion providers like Planned Parenthood. So that's great news from Florida, great news, and bad news for Planned Parenthood. But the biggest story of the day is coming from the Northern District, the U.S. Federal Northern District of Texas. Today, yes, this very day, and perhaps even while I'm making this recording, U.S. District Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk, and I'm not sure about the pronunciation of his last name, is hearing a case that involves chemical abortions, but more specifically, the abortion drug mifepristone. This drug is used in more than half of all abortions in the U.S. in chemical abortions because, as we know now, chemical abortions are even surpassing surgical procedures, surgical abortions in the U.S. So this case is being challenged. A group called the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine is challenging the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's approval of the drug back during the Clinton years. Representing the group is the Alliance Defending Freedom, one of the pro-life movements and pro-family movements' best allies in the legal profession. Their argument is that the FDA ignored safety issues and failed to properly study the risks of mifepristone. Apparently, 28 women have died taking this drug, and another 4,000 women experienced serious complications with mifepristone. If Judge Kacsmaryk blocks the drug, mifepristone would be unavailable to thousands, really hundreds of thousands of women nationwide. We've already seen pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens announce that they're going to sell chemical abortion drugs in their pharmacies. If this judge intervenes, it's adios for this drug at CVS and Walgreens. As expected, you got to take the good with the bad. So as expected, the judge has been receiving death threats because he is a conservative, he is a Trump-appointed or nominated judge, so he probably came from that list of Federalist Society selections that Trump tapped or picked from. So he's probably leaning pro-life or a pro-life judge. So this could be a good case for us. Now, I don't know if the decision's going to be decided, this week or next week or in 6 months. I just don't know. In many respects, a positive pro-life ruling here could have an even larger impact on abortion and on saving babies than the Dobbs decision. Remember, Dobbs returned abortion policy back to the states, back to the state lawmakers. And tragically, here in Michigan, that right went back to the voters through Prop 3. And the voters decided wrongfully, and I think they were horribly misled by the reproductive freedom for all people. But the way Dobbs was written, the matter goes back to the states, and the states, the voters, the elected officials at the state level, they decide abortion policies. And tragically too, and I think I mentioned this before, maybe in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I do see a trend that more pro-abortion organizations have decided that their best opportunity to get abortion policies built into state constitutions is through referendums, like what happened in Michigan. It's their best hope, because if the legislatures are, or at least leaning pro-life, a petition drive and a referendum can get around a conservative legislature, and if they have enough money, they can confuse and twist and lie and confuse enough voters, then they can circumvent the will of the legislature, and they can get a pro-abortion policy added to their state constitutions. And that's kind of what happened here in Michigan. But if this Judge Kaczmarek rules that the FDA must withdraw mifepristone, then babies can be saved in conservative states like Oklahoma and in liberal states like California or New York, because it would be a nationwide prohibition on mifepristone. And this is today. This judge is hearing this case today. So with that, I will let you go, and I will see you next time.